So we're just gonna give it a little time for people to come in, get situated, listen to my petty music for just a hot second.
That's the soundtrack for this one.
That's my song for real. No, I just want people to have some time to come in, get situated. You know, it's Monday Night Juice, and we're here, and we have juice tonight. So make sure that you guys are here. We gotta make sure that we put that. We don't have the rights to this song, but it was a classic, and I had to play it because my petty wouldn't let me not play it. Got it? Woo woo woo. Says my video girl in the back. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's your girl Ask Ashley here with another great episode of Monday Night Juice. As you guys are tuned in, make sure that you guys are liking the video, share the video, comment as much as possible. I want to get you guys' thoughts on tonight's topic. So as you guys are coming in, just come on in, get situated, get your juice out, get your popcorn out, because we're going there tonight. Tonight's episode is sponsored by the beautiful Morgan A. Owens brand. Morgan A. Owens brand is a voice for women who are interested in becoming either corporate cuties, marketable corporate cuties, or more so interested in becoming entrepreneur or boss babes. She teaches you how to be professional and pretty at the same time. She also has a conference coming up this May 2019, May 24th through the 26th, I believe. It's a 3-day conference, so make sure you guys go visit www.professionalpretty.com to get your tickets today. Also, I want to shout out Markel Benai. We did not get our wine in time tonight, but that's okay because I still love Markel Benai. That is literally, I don't drink every night, but when I drink, I do like to drink Markel Benai, even though I'm going to drink something else tonight. I do like to drink Markel Benai because it is literally the perfect ending to a perfect day. It does not give me headaches or anything like that. It just puts me right in the mode that I need to be in. So shout out to Markel Benai. You guys can go ahead and get your bottles at www.markelbenaiwines.com. So, let's see. Hold on. We can't hear you. The music too loud. That's okay because the music is off. So shout out to George. Shout out to Love Daniel, George again, and all of you guys that are tuned in. Make sure you guys are dropping your names so I can shout you out, and we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's discussion. So I want to put you guys in this state of mind for a second. So let's say that you meet someone, and you and this other person start, you have a bit of a connection. This connection leads into a friendship. That friendship turns into a certain level of attraction. That attraction goes from one thing to another. You guys get it in. And later on down the line, you decided you've invested a lot of time and energy into this situation and you no longer want to be in it, and now it's time to get out. But this other person is making it very difficult for you to walk away. So if that hasn't happened to you, that has happened to my guest tonight, Mr. Ronald Hummons, national best-selling author and philanthropist. A lot of us know him. Ronald, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
It's my pleasure.
I know you got a lot going on, so we're going to get into that. I want to shout out Vanita real quick, Reese Denise, Pam, Ashley, Christina, Belinda, Danisha, Will, Vanita again, let's see, Aziza, Kia, Ashley, and everybody else that's taking the time to tune in. Thank you guys so much. So, you were in the news. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. No need to sugarcoat. Let's talk about why you were in the news.
So there was a young lady that I was friends with. We had a friendship mentor relationship. Mm-hmm. Business deal didn't go the way that she wanted to, and she decided to go to a level of petty to try to hurt me.
Okay. So let's see. You're talking about. So you guys were in a situation, and you decided you didn't want to be in the situation anymore, and the level of petty escalated. How did it escalate and get you on the news?
She went to District 2. So she doesn't live nowhere near District 2.
Okay.
But District 2 is where Officer Kim worked at. Everybody know Officer Kim.
I was going to say, if you guys don't know, Officer Kim is the officer that was in the same confrontation with your son, Trepierre, a couple years ago. Was it 2015, I believe?
2019.
And, the both of them lost their lives that day. And so that you kind of had this ongoing battle with that particular department for a while.
Yeah.
So you said she went out of her way, went to that district, and...
Yeah, so, this was after she's tried since last October to try to get at me, try to push my buttons, post on Facebook. I went and got a restraint order against her, and after I got my restraint order against her, she tried to get a retaliatory restraining order against me. They were dismissed, over and over again, continue to dismiss it. So basically, when she seen that she couldn't get at me, and there was, nothing that really affected me with Facebook posting, like I said, she went to she went somewhere where she knew that she can get some leeway.
Okay. Um, Before we move on, I know you said that you had actually went and got a restraining order against her first.
Yeah.
So in between you getting the restraining order against her, what was kind of going on through that time? Was it because she was not leaving you alone? Was she just calling you a lot?
She was calling me, texting me, emailing me, any way she can get at me. I went to the police. I showed them my cell phone. I showed them her name, to call. But like I said, with that resentment that I've had with the police ever since the death of my son, Officer Kim, they pretty much just dismissed me. Gotcha. Told me, well, if it gets any worse, then come back and see us. And I'm showing them that she's violated this restraining order. So they in no way wanted to help me.
Okay. And how long were the two of you involved with each other, I guess I'll say?
Yeah, well, like I said, just to make it clear, it was only a friendship. When I met her, she was actually dating a guy, dating a police officer, actually. So when she came at me, it was about me mentoring her. That's what she wanted, was me to be a mentor for her.
Okay.
So literally, we're talking about half of last year. Like, we're not talking about a long period of time here. Maybe 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And how would you describe y'all friendship? Obviously it went a little extra, a little more than... No, you could still be friends and have sex. Let's just be real. But how long, I guess, was it? Because you guys had some other dealings with each other in between that time. It was, like from the friendship, and there were other ways that you tried to help her.
Yeah. So the whole, just to kind of frame this up for everybody, like I said, when we met, she was actually seeing somebody. She was seeing a Cincinnati police officer. So that's how she knew a lot about the resentment that they had against me, because she told him, he knew who I was. So he told her that, basically the police doesn't like me, and she knew all about that. So he didn't like me being her mentor for a number of different reasons. For one, because I'm, a little cute or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So he had a lot of insecure issues with that, but mainly it was because of me being Trey Pierre's, father. She eventually ended up cutting him loose. So after that, when she came to me as somebody, man, that she told me, I volunteer in the prison. That's something I created the first entrepreneur school in Ohio in 2007. I have over 300 inmates in Ohio that got certified and graduated from my program, that's running successful businesses and hiring inmates. So I've been doing this a long time. You know what I'm saying? I have quite a resume. So she admired my resume. She wanted to basically do what I do and wanted to walk in my steps. So the first step was, I said, okay, let me show you how to monetize it. So I started working with her on her volunteering piece, and she told me that she wanted to do what I do. She wanted to be a speaker. She wanted to be a best-selling author. She wanted to be a philanthropist. I told her, I said, first you need a platform. You don't have a platform yet.
So there were ways that you kind of helped her get acclimated to making the transition in her life. You know what I mean? You invested in her in that way to try and help her be better.
Right.
Before y'all got to this ugly point.
Yeah.
Essentially. When was it that you decided you no longer wanted to be involved with this individual?
That's really honestly started shortly, like after I started working with her. I started seeing a lot of toxic behavior. And, it really kind of pissed me off a lot when I hear how, for guys, if we want to fall back because of toxic behavior, we're not being patient. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not really fair. But when women start to see some issues and they like, oh, you know what, I'm starting to see some stuff. He hollered at me, so I feel like he's abusive or whatever. When they start to see red flags, then, it's like, okay, they're given a pass.
Right.
But for us, it's like, okay, when we see the same situation, and try to evaluate it the same way, then we're judged, for not being patient and not giving them more time. So let me be clear. I never wanted a relationship with her at all to begin with.
Okay.
I like right now, so after my son was killed, June 19, 2015, that had a huge impact on me. I didn't want a relationship with anybody. And any female that I met, dealt with in whatever way, I was clear. Right now, I have nothing to give. Right now, I'm literally fighting for my son. I'm trying to give purpose to his life, and I want to add value to his life and purpose to his death. And I'm clear about that. So it's like I never lied. I never came into it with any ill intentions.
So, okay. So the juice is coming. So I'm going to read a couple of these emails that you got. Okay. And I'm going to drop them in the comment section as well. Just so we can get a kind of a clear understanding, because from my end, I understand you're basically saying you met someone, you connected with that person, they wanted to do what it is that you do, and you wanted to help them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you were clear, even though the relationship kind of crossed over, into something a little more. You were clear that it was never going to be a relationship, a companionship kind of, situation.
Right.
Okay. So these are some of the emails that Mr. Hummons received from this individual. And I guess it can kind of clear what happened, what the news said about you and how things were perceived. Because from your standpoint, she went to the police department and tried to get restraining order charges against you and, stalking. And this was after you had did everything. So the stalking came. I noticed the news said something about stalking. They said something about menacing. They had you plastered all over, wanted. And we talked about that too, and that happened in like more than 30 minutes from her telling us.
An hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah, from her going and telling that. So, some of the correspondence from you saying that you did want her to leave you alone. One of them was her stating, after 3 years of going through a horrible, evil, abusive, toxic relationship, I promised myself I would never love another man again. Then I met you. I took my wall down completely and gave you my heart. I shared things with you that I never shared with a soul. And what do? You did to me what's been happening to you your entire life. You hurt me and you abandoned me. So, one of the other things where y'all got to watch, try not to curse on the show, but just tune in for the juice. Give me a second. Says you some bullshit. I mean, you entered my home without speaking. You drive off as if I never meant anything to you. Yesterday, you told me that I would cause damage to someone if I was trying to encourage them. You told me that I was toxic. You called me stupid. You got out of my car. You told me I was clueless. And then you told me to please leave you alone, and you never wanted to talk or see me again. Then she goes on to say, you must really hate me since you've blocked me off of your phone, your messenger, and your Facebook. And then it came to basically you must have somebody else that you want. You must have a side piece or something like that. Right. So with these correspondence, it's almost like, and I wanted to have this conversation because, women go through this a lot, where we meet this guy and this guy sweeps us off our feet, or in our head, we didn't just got swept off our feet sometimes. He invests in us and he shows us something different, and then he leaves and walks away from the situation.
Right.
And then we're left wondering, what did we do wrong, or what happened, or how could this happen, or, why did this have to happen? Right. And it's things like this that she says, she's like, you must already have somebody. This isn't love. Love doesn't feel this way. Why are you hurting me this way? And I want to ask the question, when did you feel like, or when does someone fighting to keep somebody in their life transition into a sick obsession?
When that person tells you that I don't want to be in a space anymore. And I was really direct and honest with her. Like I said, for one, you can read from the emails, she took this to a whole nother level, like in here and in here. Like, I was clear, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah, and it says that. I mean, it says that in the emails. I can't dispute that.
So she literally said, and she describing herself as somebody that's not stalking her, as somebody that's trying to fall back.
Right.
So, and let me be clear. Like I said, so when I first met her, I met her representative, and this is another reason why, for real, I won't.
Excuse me, I'm pour me a little juice. Sorry, go ahead, I'm listening.
So this is the reason why I won't entertain any more inboxes either. Because, like I said, I met the representative. The lashes, the makeup, the sweet voice, and the sweet personality. So that's what I met. That's who I seen, and that's who I thought was who I was dealing with. In those few months, as we got to know each other more, that representative started to fall apart, start to really crack, and I started to be able to see through, a lot of her toxic behavior. And if I can just give a couple of examples, one time, and this was in August. She had her youngest son, and guess a lady friend of hers, a female friend, walked over and was like, "Oh, who is this?" And she said her grandson. So of course I'm sitting back, I'm quiet because I'm confused, because I'm thinking, okay, this is your son, right?
Right.
So after the lady leaves, I was like, okay, I'm a little confused. Like, this is your son, right? And she told me, she said, well, you know, I met his father at at a party. We had a one night stand, and I was embarrassed. That right there bothered me. Okay, so because I mean, I have my son. He's 15. So let's say if I was ready for a relationship, my son is exceptional. You know what I'm saying? So the woman I bring around him, I need to see how you interact with yours.
Right.
So I seen a lot of abusive behavior, how she interacted with her kids. You know, matter of fact, the end of August, I had to go to court for it, to go bond her out that morning, because the night before she had beat up her daughter and went to jail for it. Like, and I'm just like, so I'm not going to put out a lot of the stuff that I seen, but there were things that I seen
that
and I was like,
kind of lay it up, and you were like,
it did.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. Like, I mean, I have a juggernaut platform. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm friends with Jamie Foxx, Vivica Fox. Like, I do a lot of stuff in Hollywood. So I can't take that with me. I have to be careful with my brand. I've spent 15 years building this brand. You know what I'm saying? So I just can't bring anybody along and introduce them to to my circle. So like I said, I'm seeing a lot of this toxic behavior, a lot of lies, just lying for no reason, lying about stuff that like I knew about.
Got you. So I'm gonna read a couple of the comments. We've got Ashley says she was in too deep on something that wasn't really there. We've got Reese Denise. She says, oh Lord, women have to learn how to let it go if a man doesn't want them. A man who wants you will show you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read that extra comment, but it ain't coming up. I'm supposing a man who doesn't want you will show you that, and then one who does want you will. Alexa says she sounds scorned. Ebony says she couldn't accept the rejection. Chrissy says, I hate representatives.
Oh my God, yes, Chrissy.
She said, I cannot stand a representative, Lord. George says, ooh, damn, he just said a mouthful. And a lot of us men meet women that is presenting a fake representation of themselves. Absolutely. And Chrissy also says, so there were a lot of red flags.
A lot.
That you saw in that situation that kind of put you into that, I'm cool, I'm a back away mode. So you did a lot to help her. Let's talk about the investments. Like, what was it? If it was never going to go that route and never going to get that serious for you, why would you put so much investments behind her?
Well, like I said, when she came to me talking about, that she volunteers in a prison and she wants to, work with kids and stuff like that. So that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a healer. So right. I do a lot of work, man, with giving my life into our community. So that, that kind of impressed me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, you know what? She doesn't have any resume, no background, anything as far as to show that that can really help her, build a platform. So I introduced to her a project that me and my co-writer was working on. One of the things I do, so as an entrepreneur, I create cash flows, and one of those cash flows is like I come up with just .coms, you know what I'm saying, domains, and I'll just buy a bunch of domains for like 99 cents. And people will, go search for certain domains, and I might have one of them. Sell it for 1,000, sell it for 5,000, sell it for 200, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So in the same way when it comes to writing, so I'm a 2-time author, 1-time bestseller, and I've worked with I've ghostwritten a number of books. I've even ghostwritten a couple of titles. So we had a project we were working on already. This was before Ramona, and the project was initially actually a fiction story that we were working on. It was called, and I took it from the Biggie song, Black and Ugly as Ever. And then I put that however, you know what I'm saying, and the stylization and everything. So I own the name. I have it copyrighted. Okay. I own the trademark of the stylization of the word however. I came up with that, just to be really clear on that. So Black and Ugly as Ever, however. So the story's about a dark-skinned girl overcoming colorism issues. And so I'm a politic kid, and I'm really heavy into politics. So how I actually came about with that topic was, just through my experience with politics, a lot of work I've done in DC, and a lot of issues I've seen with dealing with colorism. So like I said, it was just an idea, and still in the building stages. But when I told her that she needed a platform, I said, you know what, I got a project that me and my writing partner been working on. Told her the name of it, and I'm like, this might be good for you, so we can help build a platform for you, so you can start speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like I was just trying to give this girl life, like, and I didn't want anything. Like literally, like I'm trying to give this girl something. I don't know how many guys man to go meet a chick and be like, you know what? I'm gonna build a platform for you with my bare hands.
And I was gonna say, so I want to touch on that for a second because it's so difficult on both ends of the spectrum, right? It's so difficult when you are that woman who wants to do something great and then a man comes along who wants to invest in you, but y'all kind of sleeping with each other and he only want to invest in you to a certain extent, and lines get misconstrued. But then on the other end, as a man, you never said you were sleeping with her.
I didn't.
You never said you were sleeping with her. Thank you for catching me on that. I'm gonna reel that one in because you never said that. But did you just slap my hand? But and then from the other standpoint, as a man, it's like we talk about unity all the time. We talk about how we should all be working together. So as a black man, seeing a black woman who wants to do something similar that you does, and you connect with her, and this is your friend, why would you not invest? So,
and that's all it was for me. I mean, like,
I can understand that.
When I say literally, I didn't want anything. Sex is one of the things I was talking about, and this is the thing that where for real the people need to understand. So this girl, other guys might, go crazy over whatever like that. Like, honestly, for me, it really was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like a bad chick, I mean, it's like nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that comes easy for me. I wasn't in it for anything.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm just saying, like, I got
you.
It's facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm on the red carpet, you know what I'm saying, in LA for events. I'm private screenings. I was presenter at the BET Awards last year. Like, literally, like, so that lifestyle for me is nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want a relationship. I can't handle a relationship. I don't even know if I really even know how to love on the level of relationship, and I'm honest about that. So I'm trying to tell Shorty, like, look, let me just do this for you. You know what I'm saying? Then you can, take it to the next level, man. You can be a speaker. You can grow this thing, man. You can have a huge impact on people. I'm trying to grow her outside of Cincinnati. Like, I'm bigger than Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? And she couldn't handle that.
All right, so some of our comments are saying, Alexa says, I'm wondering if she appeared after you were saw on BET.
A lot of people were.
I don't know why I cannot see more comments, but Chrissy says, as an investor, I can understand how you would help someone that you feel has potential. And I bet you she's saying, I hope that this doesn't deter you from helping anyone in the future. Let me see.
I'm not accepting any more inboxes, I tell you that.
George says it sounds like he was trying to help her out. Chrissy says delete. He never said that they were sleeping together. Delete that. George says, oh, he wasn't sleeping with her. Oh, he innocent in my eyes. Oh, girl, probably crazy as heck. And then George says, man, oh man, he sound like he know himself very well, which is it's a very beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So as you guys are taking the time to tune in, we've got some new viewers. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to sit with us tonight on Monday Night Juice. I have Ronald Hummins here, who was recently in the news and was lied on. I mean, essentially, it was reports that he was menacing a young lady, assaulting her, threatening her, and things of this nature. All of that came out. What was that? February 5th.
Yeah.
February 5th in court, that it was all a lie. And that there was no evidence to support any of the allegations. No. And
not only that, so can I give a real description of how the court went real quick?
Please.
Okay.
By all means, you have the floor.
So when the charges first came up, they put this warrant out for my arrest. I went to the district to go turn myself in. And my lawyer told me not to talk about what happened when I got there because it's a lot of stuff that's going to come out. But they took me to the Justice Center. And charged me with it was a minor misdemeanor. So naturally, I'm thinking, okay, I'm a bond out, get an OR bond or something. They tell me the judge didn't order for me to get a bond, but everybody else in the cell got a bond. So I had to stay overnight. So the next morning, my lawyer comes see me and she says, you're probably going to get an OR bond. Like, it's one minor misdemeanor charge. We go in front of that judge, and when she sees that name, Ronald Hummins, once again, like I said, the city has been against me. When I say the city, the police, media, everybody, because of the situation with with Officer Kim, she gives me a $20,000 bond, 20 for one minor misdemeanor charge. So of course I still bonded out, but after I bonded out, that's when we got word that the prosecutor wanted to drop the charges, and I'm like, no, I didn't want a dismissal. Now let me frame this real quick because I know a lot of brothers, George and everybody else on there. Now dig this. Now you say you tell them you want to go to trial, right? And you know during that trial that the police officers are going to be testifying against you. But you got a chance for it to be dismissed. Most brothers, you know what? Fuck that.
Dismiss
Most niggas, for real, gonna be like, hey, you know what? Dismiss that.
Right.
When you know the police are gonna be testifying against you. Man, I said, man, I don't give a fuck if Jesus is gonna be on that stand. Lord, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to work on this and break bread at Panera after this over with. I'm sorry. But I was going to trial. So we went to trial. So February 5th, and I'm real quick, February 5th, we get there. Oh, real quick too. They sent Ramona 3 subpoenas that were returned back to the prosecutor's office because she gave them the wrong address. But yet you're in fear for your life, right? So anyway, they call her. That's how they actually served her by a phone call. So when they got connected with her, so she's there. The police are there. I'm sitting there. I'm cool. I really was planning on for real going to IHOP because I had a coupon for a birthday coupon.
No, he did not.
I did for real. I had a birthday coupon for free pancakes. It was an old one, but I changed the date on it. But still. So I'm ready to go to IHOP. So we going in there. So Ramona testifies.
You see me, Maya? Girl, very juicy. Sorry, go ahead.
the police get up there and testify. And literally, and I swear on everything, I wish it could have been cameras up in there like reality TV. So Ramona got there and they asked her, they said, so how did it make you feel when he threatened you? And she broke down like literally like tears. I was looking for some popcorn, okay, some peanuts. I wanted a Coke because I wanted to sit back and just chill because I felt like I was in the theater.
Because you knew the evidence that you had.
Yeah, it was funny to me. Honestly, I was not worried, not one bit. And I'm going to tell you too, so my daughter sent me a scripture, Psalms 27. And it talks about how when your enemies bear false witness against you. So for real, I was cool. I didn't care about the police testifying. So the judge, he calls for a break. We come back from the break, and my lawyer's like, the prosecutor is saying that she's going to ask the judge for a dismissal. I said, no, you got to go, we need to move forward with this. I did not want a dismissal, because guys beat their girls up all the time. They'd go to the Justice Center, Shorty come see him, like, oh, baby, I love you. Don't come to court. She don't show up. It gets dismissed.
Right.
I didn't want a dismissal. If the prosecutor and the police wouldn't give me a public apology, I needed a not guilty, because I knew I was. And then on top of that, when you got the police testifying against you, you can't be 100% innocent.
Right.
Every brother know that. You got to be 1,000%. So my lawyer go back there and talk to the prosecutor and judge. She comes back and say, okay, we're going to proceed. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get up there, and guess how much evidence did we introduce? We didn't introduce not one piece of evidence. None. The police and Ramona gave what they had or whatever, which was some bullshit. We didn't give not one piece of evidence. We had evidence, but for real, I'm sitting back and I'm
Basically,
like,
you saying you didn't need it.
We didn't need it. And when you got the police testifying against you, you better have something.
Right.
We didn't introduce not one piece of evidence, and all of this is in the transcript. So I'm not lying, because everything, man, is a paper trail to it. So after my lawyer, I got up there and testified. I was only up there for a few minutes because I just answered it yes, no, yes, no. Then the prosecutor got there and tried to cross-examine me, and for her, she was cute too. But she was, now she wore a little chocolate, okay, my bad. But so she asking me questions for real, trying to flip me up. I'm kind of giving her that look like, hey, listen, okay, you know my name on my Facebook page, right? Get at me after this over with, okay? I ain't mad at you. This is gonna be over with quick. So they rested, right? So I go back to the table. She's sitting there. The judge looks over their evidence because that's the only person that presented it, and literally looks over there and asks what conclusion did you come to with these charges? There was no basis for these charges. There was no basis for the police. Oh, this is the other piece to it, and be really quick about this, because like I said, all of this stuff is just in transcripts. I love paper trails. The stuff that the news said about the gun and all that, threatening her and all that, the prosecutor didn't even bring that up. It was never even introduced in court.
I mean, but we know this. We know that prosecutors, they go an extra mile. And let me say this, not all prosecutors, because I have friends that are prosecutors and I have friends that are district attorneys as well. Or, you know what I mean? Defense attorneys as well. My thing is that we know that they do this. You know what I mean? Not just about your particular situation, but that's why I felt like it was so necessary to tell the story, because how many times has our brother gone up against, you know what I mean, this particular situation with this scenario with a woman who was just upset. Right. You know what I mean? I wasn't there. I don't know. I know what you showed me. You know what I'm saying? I know what the public record says.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's all I really know to have to go off of. But it's a lot of times that our brothers don't get the fair justice that they should because there's a scorned woman or there's a bitter woman involved. And sometimes it's the other way around. There's a man that can't let go because she wants to leave and she wants to move on. So we go through these things a lot. I'm going to read a couple of these comments. Let me see. Mr. Shabazz says she tried to use your past against you and it backfired on her. Cassandra says I would have took it to trial too. Absolutely. Mashallah said, right, you're not guilty, clear your name, forget that dismissal stuff. Ebony said stand for something or fall for anything. Ash said this is a good one. She's tuned in. Thank you very much. George said he changed the date on the coupon. He my new hero. Everybody said, did you really just say panty cakes?
That's what it is. P-A-N-A, right? Cakes.
It's pancakes.
My grandma said pancakes.
That's all right. That's all right. We love your grandma.
Yes.
Maya says, what did she give that was evident? Is considered evidence?
She gave an email of me telling. She gave an email of me letting her know that basically I didn't want to have anything to do with her, leave me alone. Mm-hmm. So that was her version of threats. Mm-hmm. And then we had a little mean interaction after I filed after I got my restraining order. She continued to text me, and we kind of went back and forth.
I mean, her email says you called me a dumbass.
I did.
You told me leave you alone. You told me to stay away from you. You told me you don't want me to see you.
So I
did.
did.
You don't want to see me anymore.
I got a little mean, you know what I'm saying, as far as verbiage. When she continued on, because it's like, I'm asking you, leave me alone. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this was the thing though. So everybody know about this too. If I can go into about the book.
Oh wait, so that's what I want to talk about. So we're gonna talk about the book here for a second. Now you said that you have the copyrights to Ugly and Black as Ever.
Black and
Ugly as Ever. However,
yeah,
hers is once you all kind of parted ways and she tried to claim it as her own. Mm-hmm. What is now Black and Ugly. However, so she dropped the as ever.
Which I still own that, but
he said he still owns that.
Yeah.
So what's tomorrow? Tell us what tomorrow is then.
Tomorrow's court. So yeah,
because he is playing 0 games with Miss Lady.
So this is the thing, man. Like I don't do messy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've spent 15 years building my brand. I don't do messy, like social network stuff like that. It's not my style. Like I'm way too polished for that. So that's why I went and filed in civil court. Matter of fact, the judge that gave me the not guilty verdict, he even told her, like, you know what, like for real, like this is just messy. He used those words. This is messy. Mm-hmm. If you had an issue with Mr. Hummons, you should have dealt with it in civil court the way that he did. Mm-hmm. So when I fell back, like I said, I told her, like, hey, you know what, this is not a good space for me. So and I'll give you some more reasons why I decided to pull the book back. So she was trying to make it, like I said, the book was really a fictional story about a dark-skinned girl and dealing with more political issues, you know what I'm saying, from my political views. She kept trying to turn it to, so when I took the project to her and I said, you know, what do you think about it? She loved it. I told her, I said, okay, write a short synopsis of your story, of your life, and I'll give it to my writing partner and let her write around that. And so she had nothing to do with the creation of this book. The writing, like the photo that's on it of her, I took that photo with my cell phone. And this is the thing about it, and I guess she doesn't really get this. That's why I use words like, you're pretty stupid, because everything is time-stamped. You know, if you're a designer using photos, like everything is time-stamped and date-stamped. So I have all this stuff, man, dated back in July of the design work that I did. The photos that I took. Like, I created all of that. So, and I'm going to tell everybody too, so if you go back to...
I have a question too.
Okay, go ahead.
So... because the book is still being it's already published, but the book is still being sold right now, right? Because I know we talked about.
Well, she's selling it. She's having her official launch at the Recreation Center, where she'll be selling them on the table. She can't sell them on Amazon. She can't sell them on, and that's what I was about to get to. She can't sell them through any other social networks.
Okay. So she can only sell physical copies.
Yeah, so she went and got physical copies made. You can go to a printer, you can go to Staples and get copies made. So that's basically what she did. but she can't do anything because, so once again, like I said, I own it, I created it, so I've already copyrighted. I own the manuscripts, the copyrighted name, everything.
And that's what court is about tomorrow.
So tomorrow's the defamation. Oh. So we have 3 court dates lined up.
Oh Lord, he is not playing.
I'm not.
He is not playing no games. But you know
I'm doing
what?
like white people do it.
I was gonna say, like, he said I'm gonna do it like white people do it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, this is the way that you have to go about certain things so that you can protect yourself.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And it's so ugly that it had to get out of order to begin with, in order for for you to be blasted and put on the news and everything like that. But the reality is, this is the route that you have to go sometimes to really protect and save yourself and your brand. A couple other comments that we got was George is crazy. George said, my nigga, he was about to get on with the prosecutor.
I'm just saying, but she was cute. Little chocolate show.
Let me see. Chrissy says, that's the thing. They are innocent until proven guilty. That's the thing they will never understand. She said, but to be honest, women can be vindictive as hell, and what is wrong with the system? George says, it's a shame that a black man is in court. It's a shame that a black man in court is a losing situation and unfair. Chrissy says, calling someone a dumbass could be considered verbal harassment. Ashley says, it's sad how our black men, some are treated in this crappy judicial system. Cassandra says, talk about the act. Don't forget about the act. We gonna get to the act, Cassandra. Chrissy says, take it all the way to the Supreme Court if you hashtag clear your name. Ashley says, I know that's right. Protect your name, protect your brand. Alexa says she was messy with his money, and I mean that the reality of that is, yeah. And then George says she trapping her book out like Masterpiece, straight bootleg out of the trunk.
That's all she can do with it, but that's gonna stop though.
Oh my gosh! So, what is it, Ronald, that you want people to know, or not even that? First, I'm gonna rewind it.
Can I say one more piece about the book real quick?
2 seconds, go.
Okay. So one of the reasons why I pulled back, because she was trying to make it into an autobiography. So she was telling me stuff, man, about people that she didn't know that I know. Her ex-boyfriend was a police officer, and she was, told me that his best friend was his lover. And I knew the guy. I went to school with him. That's
another show.
This is the stuff she was trying to put this in a book. So this is the thing about it. There's some people out there for real that don't really even realize that I saved them. Like I said, so she, the guy that she dated was a cop. His friend, she said, was his, and she wanted to put this in a book as something that was abuse to her. And I told her, man, no, that's messy. You know what I'm saying? Her childhood female friend. She talked about how when they were younger, she went around, she'd go into cell phone shops and
oh Lord,
do things. And so yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail, but the point is I'm trying to make is literally I'm trying to explain to this young lady, this book is not about that. So I told her, if you want it, you can buy this project from me, because that's what I do. I sell projects. You can buy it, and you can do whatever you want to. I just didn't want my name attached to it. She agreed to it. She agreed. We agreed to the back end. I would get paid off of it. When it got close time for the book to release, and I never got a deposit, that's when I emailed Amazon, because I'm the one that set up the account. If you go back to August 28th on her Facebook page and go down deep after that, you will notice there is nothing. She has no involvement in anything philanthropy-wise.
I mean, and I get that, but just to play devil's advocate here for a second, you could have inspired her. She might have been sitting at home not doing nothing with her life, but then met you and then was completely inspired.
Well, that's the point I'm making. Yeah. So that's okay. That's what I'm saying.
That's the point.
Yeah, it's the fact that there was nothing going on before then. So I'm trying to explain to her, listen, this is what the project is about. But if you want to do something different, if you want to make it messy, I don't want my name on it, because I don't do messy. So when she agreed,
and you're saying it's the other stories that she wanted to put in the book that
yes.
you were like, I don't want my name attached to that kind of mess.
Yeah, if you want to pay me for it, then pay me for it. You go do your thing.
Malaysia said, Law and Order, SVU, Criminal Tip, Family Law, etc. All that. She wants you to get on all of that. Admit that you all were friends. I do have to admit that. Really quick, tell us why you came onto Monday Night Juice and told this story. With the exception of because it's just me. But yes.
Well, that's the main reason. So, like I said, man, I've spent 15 years building my brand. And I've always been selfless in this city. So, honestly, it really hurt me, you know what I'm saying, when that came out. And I ain't gonna lie, it hurt me when, the comments that was made on social network, because, I feel like if you hate me, you don't hate me because I did something wrong. You hate me because you never did nothing right. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in the city, I've created entrepreneur programs and given, I'm talking about for inmates, not on the street, but for inmates. You know, I've produced films that's used by Cincinnati police, that's used by Cincinnati Public, and every other school district. Like, I've given selflessly to the city, and my brand, that's all my brand has been about. Like, I'm not here to be liked. I don't care about being liked. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the people that's watching is like, you never have to like me. I'm going to continue, though, to give my life to my city, though, and give it to my community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't even be here in the next 2 years. But while I am here, I'm going to continue to have an impact. And that's all I've ever been about. Like, I ain't into the streets. I ain't into nothing out here. Nobody see me in any clubs. All I do, man, is for real, raise my son.
I was about to say, Chrissy is a fan because she won't shut up. Chrissy says, women make it more than what it's supposed to be. And she says he came onto Monday Night Juice to help out other niggas, from messing with her, I suppose. She says, hashtag build it and they will come. And she says, I hope that he keeps fighting and keep building his brand. I hope this woman gets what she deserves. George says, I'm still in that. He just dropped a bar. It's what he does for a living. You ain't hear the man? He got like multiple streams of income and drops bars and sales projects. And Alexa says she was working on trying to steal your legacy.
She wanted to be me.
And George says, you hate me, not because I did something wrong, but you hate me because you never did something right. That was his quote, because I see you was trying to use that, George. So just in case you... But make sure you give him some credit, okay? Make sure you give him the credit.
Good looking out, George.
You know? Last thing, what advice do you have for people that, you know, may be in your situation, or a man that's dealing with a woman that, you know, is really not really ready to let go, but he wants to move forward with his life, or, you know, somebody that's in your situation? What kind of advice would you give them?
Don't ignore red flags. Definitely the first one. And I got to be honest. So I have to take on some of this responsibility because, like, I'm big on that, man. You know, evaluating choices that I make and even consequences that I deal with. And I have to take on some of this responsibility myself, that I put myself in the situation. Because honestly, like, I seen so many red flags that, like, I should have never even got to the point to where it was like, hey, let's meet up for coffee. Like, it should have never went there. I mean, like, she's cool for somebody else. Maybe she's cool for that cop she was seeing. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's just not a safe space for me. So it definitely, don't ignore red flags. But the other piece, paper trail. Man, I always keep a paper trail, because I mean, when you got a paper trail, what can they say?
Yeah.
You know, it was that paper trail, even though we didn't introduce it.
I have to add on there. I definitely think, the red signs. Pay attention, or the red flags. Pay attention to the red flags. Love the paper trail, but if you're gonna go toe to toe with someone who is this messy, do it this way. Do it the way where it hurts their pockets. You know what I mean? And it may not hurt their pockets right away.
Well, it's gonna
you know
hurt
what I'm saying? No, I'm saying
I got 2 $6,000 and a 25,000.
He ain't playing.
Yeah,
he's not playing.
So tomorrow's a 6,000. Then next week we go court for another 6,000.
Well, I'm saying, and even if they have no pockets, you know what I'm saying? Like, hit them in a manner where it's done correctly to protect you. Right. Don't get so messy where it's like, I'm about to call my baby mama to come up here and beat you up because we don't get along no more. I'm about to call somebody up here to fight you because we don't get along no more. Because the reality is, we are too damn old to be dealing with situations and putting ourselves in involvements like that. Before I let you go, there is a question that I have to ask, though.
Okay. Because
the news said you kidnapped somebody. The news said Ronald Hummons kidnapped somebody. So I have to ask that question, and I need you to explain that to me before we go.
So, okay, I'm gonna have to explain that in my Diamond tone. Diamond is my book, my autobiography. All right, so look, everybody know my story. I was a coke boy. I transported coke from Indianapolis, New York. Had a chick, setup girl, that was sent my way. She was cute, thick as hell. You know what I'm saying? And so we connected. But it was really on some setup shit. So when the day, we kicked it, you know what I'm saying, for a couple of months. But then when that day came and it was time to check it in, I got hit for 2 keys of coke. So naturally, I kidnapped that bitch. Like, that bitch had to get it, okay?
Okay.
And the 2 dudes. So what they didn't tell you on the news was there was 2 dudes. They followed me on Facebook too. Kilo, what's up them?
Hope they see the interview.
I'm saying, like, it's all good now. We good now. We grown now. This was some years ago. But I'm saying, so I kidnapped her, and then she set the dudes up that that kidnapped that robbed me. So we went and we got them, and and it turned into what it turned into. But it wasn't like no kidnapping like the way the news tried to make it. Yeah, I was a coke boy, and I mean it's what we do in the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I kidnapped a lot of people.
In the reality, this is not who you are anymore.
No, this was in the 90s.
So they definitely typical news, you know what I mean? Typical stuff that they do in the media, bring up something from 15, 20 something years ago,
right.
You know what I mean? And make it and
put
it on
that.
you.
This was in the early 90s.
Yeah, and put it on you and then say that this is who you are now, but the reality
But you notice though, that's all
different.
they had to say was something from the early 90s. They ain't bring up nothing about what's going on now, like my suicide app that's had over 80,000 downloads nationwide that I created, that I spent over 15,000 of my own cash to create. They didn't bring up anything about that. They didn't bring up anything else about what I'm out here doing.
Right.
But that's what they do.
And so you said 2-time author, 1 national best-selling, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You've got the Strike Back.
Strike Back
Strike
suicide
Back
app.
is the suicide app.
I've been offered. I've gotten a couple offers for it too, like close to some nice figures.
So is it Diamond or the Face of Trauma that Netflix is looking at? Because you got some
Diamond. Diamond is the one I got my Netflix deal on.
The Netflix thing is
and
so you got a lot.
Rotimi from Power is playing me.
So you got a lot of super dope, amazing things going on for you. So it was really important for you to come out and clear your
protecting my brand.
Absolutely. Well, y'all heard it. We got to protect this brand. Chrissy says this should be a part 2. Girl, we heard the whole story. Okay. Part 2 is when he go live tomorrow and tell you what happened in court. Because I know he gonna do that.
Oh yeah, just follow me on Facebook.
No, he gonna do that.
Yeah, follow me on Facebook. You will see it.
George is your number 1 fan. George said, "Oh shit, yep, 2 keys of coke. Fuck it, he's still innocent in my eyes. It is what it is."
Right, like somebody got to get it. You know what I'm saying? You can't go do that and not get something.
Rosalie says, "Once you rid yourself of this mess, let your diamond shine." Tiana says, "Right, Michaela Joyner has done enough. She can stay where she is at." George says, "I would like to hear her side just for context." And Ash says,
"We heard her side. The news."
Her side. I was gonna say her side was that he threatened her with a gun, or that you took a picture with a gun and you threatened her with.
No, that I also threatened to kill her and her kids.
Oh yeah, so that was.
So
that
you heard her side,
that was her side.
But
now,
you also seen what the judge said.
And in regards to the emails, like I said, we're gonna drop the emails here in our comment section. It's hard, man. It's hard seeing like the blurred lines between friendship and relationship, you know what I mean, when somebody wants more out of the situation than someone else. You know, this young lady was saying like she loves you unconditionally. Why are you doing this? Why are you hurting me? Why are you know what I mean? This must be about somebody else. Like this ain't love. Right. And over here you just like, bruh, it was 6 months. It wasn't like that. Like we didn't go there. Like we never made it to all of this stuff that you're saying. You know what I mean? So it's really tough. Again,
she had a really sick obsession.
And I say again, you know, you have to really, really, really consider who you are putting into your world, because especially who you are allowing to get close, because people are not, they're not for the right. And if you are in a situation that is similar to Mr. Hummons, I definitely pay attention to the red flags. Make sure you fall in love with a paper trail and go about it in the legal way that you are protecting yourself and you are protecting your brand.
Don't do messy.
Don't do messy whatsoever.
And watch the representatives too. Don't trust representatives.
Oh yeah, you got to get past the surface.
Yeah.
The representative is the person that you meet first night. The representative actually could last up to about a year.
Oh, that's dangerous too. Right?
The representative could last up to about a year before you even meet who you really dealing with. To be honest with you,
you won't read no representative with me. Like, man, listen, I'm rough around the edges. Sometimes I change the coupons, so I can get free pancakes. I shop at the Goodwill sometimes. Yeah, some of the stuff you might see me wear.
George so on your
I'm saying I like Play-Doh's. I like Play-Doh's closet. I go to the clearance rack and Play-Doh's. You can find some dope stuff there. Like with me, it just is what it is.
George said, "Nah, fuck hearing her side." She said, "I'm crazy. I'm double on your side, homie." Let me see. Tiana says, "I'm completely over it, Michaela." Ebony says, "Fatal Attraction." Maya says, "Damn, what'd you do to her? Only 6 months." Keep in mind, he said he said that he ain't never say they slept together. Now, he ain't say they didn't, but he never said that they did either. Chrissy says, "Do not trust the representative bitches." Alexa says, I'm telling y'all, she was planted by the city. It was just too quick how they jumped on him. Ebony says, don't do messy. And George says, yep, the representative can be fake about a year or two. Absolutely. So again, Ronald, I want to thank you for coming onto the show. Like I said, we've got the Strike Force, Strike Back suicide app. We've got both books out. We've got the Netflix thing going on. We've also got a program that you're implementing in the state of Ohio for
state of emergency on trauma.
130,000 kids suffering through PTSD. So it's a lot that you have going on that is really going to change lives. That it's important for your image and your brand to be protected. So thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on and being honest and just telling what it is. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
And letting us being so transparent, really.
I appreciate you for your journalism.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. That's why I love Monday Night Juice, because no one can tell me what the hell I can talk about. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in. We're going to go ahead and let you guys go for the evening. Make sure that you guys are tuned in next week. We've got an attorney, Donyetta Bailey, coming to the show. We're going to talk about existing while black. We can't smoke while black, talk while black, like while black, look while black, drive while black, listen to music while black, barbecue while black, can't do nothing while black. So we're going to have Donyetta come through and talk about that situation, that scenario. Also tell us some key things that we don't know about law and how things work to be able to protect ourselves from the law itself. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in. I'm your host, Ask Ashley, and I'll see you next week.